So yesterday we started talking about the multiplication counting principle, and we started talking about powers and whatnot. Now, what happens when you multiply um, two bases together that share different powers, or you raise a power to a power, is what we're going to talk about today. Because of the relationship between repeated multiplication and powers, products and powers of powers can be themselves written as powers. So we're going to look at how to simplify these things. The first property that I want you to know is the product of powers property. The product of powers property says for all m and n, those are my exponents, m and n, and all non-zero b's, b's just some random base, could be 3, could be y, could be z. Okay, it's just some random base. When you multiply two things that share the same base, notice these b's are the same thing. When you multiply two things with the same base, what you do then is you add the exponent. So it's m plus n. So you get the base, and then you raise it to the, add them together, m plus n power. So let's look at example 2. It says simplify r to the 9th times s to the 5th times r to the 7th times s to the 2nd. Notice all these are multiplication, so you can put them together once you are all said and done. You can put them side by side. Okay? But what we have to do is, the only thing we can put together right now are my r's, and then my s's are separate. So the first thing we need to do is we need to do r to the 9th times r to the 7th. Well, r to the 9th times r to the 7th, notice same base. If they share the same base, you add the exponent. So r to the 9 plus 7. Okay? Over here, s's are the same. Share the same base, add exponents. So it's s to the 5 plus 2 power. Well, what's 9 plus 7? Well, 9 plus 7 is 16. S to the 5 plus 2, 5 plus 2 is 7. So if we simplify this down, we get r to the 16th power, s to the 7th power. Moving along, the next property. Power of a power property. Mr. Johnson also calls this raising a power to a power. Okay? For all m and n are exponents, and all non-zero b, if you have one base raised to a power, raised to another power, what you do is you multiply those exponents. Okay, notice the difference. The other one, you had two bases, and they were multiplied together. Okay, and then you added your exponents. Here you have one base raised to a power, raised to another power. Hence, raising a power to a power. When you raise a power to a power, you have to multiply your exponents. So example 3 says, write 5 squared to the 4th power. Okay? This is raising a power to a power. You have a base, you have a power, you're raised to another power. So it is 5 to the 2 times 4th power, which is 5 to the 8th power. Now, if you wanted to take this further and write it into a base 10, 5 times 5 to the 8th power, I'm going to do real quick on my calculator here. 5 to the 8th power is 390,625. Okay? Now, I'm just going to show you why this equals 5 to the 8th power. Well, this says I have 4 of these. So I would write this as 5 to the second times 5 to the second times 5 to the second times 5 to the second. Well, all these things share the same base. So what would you do? You would add exponents. Well, what's 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2? Well, you would say, I have 8 of them. Okay? This is a shorter way to do raising a power to a power. Example 4. Simplify 3m times the quantity m to the 4th squared. Now, what we always have to do is we need to get rid of our parentheses. So we need to do that first. These things are side by side. Side by side means multiplication. So I'm just going to bring my 3m down. Leaves me with 3m. Okay? M to the 4th raised to the 2nd power. This is raising a power to a power again. Is going to give me, like I said, side by side means multiplication. Okay? M to the 4th raised to the power of 2. 4 times 2 is m to the 8th. Now, we are not quite done yet. Why aren't we done? Well, I have m to the 1st times m to the 8th. And if you think of this as our coefficients are 3 times 1. Well, what's 3 times 1? 3 times 1 is 3. Same base. I can add my exponents. M to the 1st times m to the 8th gives me m to the 1 plus 8, which then gives me 3m to the 1 plus 8 is 9. And now you have what it is called simplify. That's all I have for you today. You need to remember those two powers. Remember, if they share the same base, okay, you see two bases, add exponents. You see one base and it's raised to the power to another power, okay, you multiply exponents. Those are two key properties. We're going to be seeing a lot more of these. We need to learn them now. Thank you very much. That's 8-2, and I'll see you tomorrow.